Hello, my name is Anna and I'm here to do a Booktube Newbie Tag. Well, as you probably noticed, I'm not a native English speaker, I'm Spanish and my native language is Spanish. So I'm gonna try and leave subtitles, the YouTube subtitles that you can activate clicking CC. So this tag, the purpose of this tag is to introduce yourself to the community of Booktube and your channel. And it has 10 questions and I'm going to be answering all of them in this video. The first question is, why did you start this channel? Well, I discovered Booktube 3 years ago, more or less, and ever since I've been thinking about starting my own channel, and I figured that after 2.5 years of thinking that maybe it was time to do it. You know, if you keep coming to an idea over and over and over again, maybe it's worth trying. And also that thing about 100-year-olds saying that what they regret more in life is not taking chances. So here I am. Hi. Second question is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? For starters, I think I can bring some variety to the community because I will read more Spanish books than your average booktuber, I think. Makes sense. Also, either American authors and stuff. And also I've noticed, or maybe it's just the booktubers I follow, but a lot of the community is people who study stuff at university related to books or history or art, or are even in the book industry. They are authors, editors, they work on publishing or in bookstores. And I studied biology at university, which I think gives me another perspective maybe on what I read. So I think that could be fun to give me another look at the science aspect of some books or even non-fiction. So that's what I think I can bring to the community. The third question is, what are you most excited for about this new channel? Well, obviously discussing books with you guys and making friends. I'm very excited to make friends inside the community and be active and participate in comments and stuff. Yeah. So the fourth question is, why do you love reading? Well, for one part, I love learning new stuff. So for example, reading books about new subjects that I'm not used to, or reading non-fiction is very fun for me. But I'm also very interested in human nature. I love reading books that are character focused instead of plot focused, although those are also fun. And also it fascinates me when I read all books to find that the problems and the challenges that the characters face are very similar, if not the same, than the ones we face today. That's something that drives me crazy. We are the same, even if it was Romans or the 19th century people. The fifth question is, what book or series got you into reading? That's easy. It was A Song of Ice and Fire. So I started reading it and it just gripped me and I couldn't stop, and I read the whole series that's out so far in 6 months, and ever since I haven't stopped reading. I've picked one book after the other, after the other, after the other. So the sixth question is, what questions will you ask your favorite booktubers? So as I mentioned in the beginning, I'm Spanish, so that makes me a non-native English speaker. And although I read in both languages, I'm always conflicted about translations and such. So I would love to hear from my favorite booktubers what they think about translation and reading translated works of fiction. So the seventh question now is, what challenges do you think starting a Booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Well, for me, the biggest one is kind of already done if you're watching this, because it was putting myself in front of the camera. Sitting here, putting my face out in the internet, and also speaking a language that I'm not very comfortable in, English. But I also don't have any idea of video editing whatsoever, so that's gonna be a technical challenge for me, being able to edit these videos and that they make sense and are cohesive and stuff. That's gonna be kind of hard. And also doing these videos in English for me is an added challenge to starting a Booktube channel and stuff, because I'm not as fluent and confident in this language as I would like. And I think that it's gonna be more difficult to communicate what I think about books precisely and clearly to the viewer. So that's why I'm gonna try to make always subtitles for the videos in case you don't understand my accent. The eighth question is, when did you start reading? And for me it was college. it was like the first year of college, I started like reading because I decided to pick a Game of Thrones because it was the rage. Everyone was like reading it or watching the TV show, so I wanted to like join. And ever since I picked the book, I haven't stopped reading one book after the other. As a kid, I read some stuff like, because I mean, who doesn't like read a couple of child books like fantasy series and stuff, but I never quite like read much, and when I read it was mostly non-fiction, like those kind of books for kids that are like discover the universe or discover the animals, that kind of stuff I really liked when I was a kid. The ninth question is, where do you read? And I would say that almost everywhere, although I always prefer reading in bed or in a couch. But I also read a lot like outside in cafes and stuff, and I used to read on my commute to university, which was fairly noisy environment, like a crowded bus full of like university students, like yeah. That wasn't the ideal place to read, I will say. So now we come to the last question, that is, what kind of books do you like to read? I'm not very picky, okay? I will read almost anything that falls into my hands, especially if recommended for someone else, or if I found like in a kind of special way. It's kind of like destiny with books. I really believe in the stuff. But when I'm not reading like random stuff that crosses my way, I like to read classics. I really like reading classics. I think they are a safe bet. Like if they're classics is for something, I'm sure I will take something away from them. And also they are cheap. And I also like non-fiction because I love learning new stuff and coming in contact with new fields of knowledge or new ideas. That's very nice. And mostly novels, I would say. Although I'm trying to get more into short stories and short story collections these days, because I feel like they are fun and experimental and such. Anyway, that's that for the Booktube Newbie Tag, and I will be seeing you again in another videos, and I hope you like this one, and if you want to subscribe, or just keep watching videos, and have a nice day, I guess.